What up, everybody? So this is V2 of my CPA study tool. V1, it was one prompted, so it looked exactly like it sounds. It was very AI-ish. There was no design to it. Like I said, I just kind of wrote it fast just to get a very quick MVP. But this is V2, so this I basically kind of designed in Claude Design. As you can see, it actually kind of has similar features to the Claude interface. And I did that for a reason because I think it looks super clean. Um, but this is just a week 2 update. Like I said, the V1 was last week, but this one's a lot more intensive. This was not a one prompt. I have probably done 100 prompts into this one. But yeah, so this is just kind of another demo. So here is the landing page, basically. So kind of before the actual app. Um, and see, this is kind of, and I'm gonna edit all this. Like I said, this is just, I've spent more time editing the actual app part than I have the landing page part, so just bear with me. But this is the landing page part, and essentially kind of my main value proposition is that you can pass the CPA exam without spending, 2,000 plus dollars on Becker. So this is kind of what the interface looks like. Um, and these link to all this. This is kind of what the page looks like, and I'm gonna kind of go over what I'm gonna change, and I also want to hear y'all's thoughts if you have any. Um, but anyway, I'll just go over this, and here's the pricing. Once again, this isn't set in stone. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna do the sections yet, but I do want the main package to be $19 a month. I'm not sure about the other two. I definitely want multiple um, pricing tiers, but not sure how it's going to look yet. So, and then I'm doing a 7-day free trial, no credit card required. I think a lot of people get scared because they don't want to accidentally forget to cancel their subscription and then pay. I'm not doing that. I'm just making it where you get complete access, 7 days free, no credit card. Um, and then after the 7 days is up, basically the app, shuts off and prompts you to sign in. And, if you've already used your trial up, then it'll just be like a screen that you can't get past, like a paywall basically. And then contact. So this is like, if you have any questions about it, here's our email. Diligent Harvest is actually the firm name that I want to use. I wanted it to be Diligent Harvest Financial Group. But anyway, that's the email for now. I'll change that to professional email later. And yeah, so there's the home page. Here are all the sections, the legal stuff, and like I said, the navigation bar. So anyway, that's pretty easy. But like I said, the app part, which I'm about to direct to, is the part that I've kind of spent more time on. So anyway, that's the landing page, and then I'm going to click sign in or start free trial. Either button sends you to the app. So I'll click one of these. It'll send you to the login page, and I won't show this because I don't want you to see my password or anything. And over here it has like quotes from people using it. Those will be replaced with real quotes later. But I like kind of like the switching mechanism there. And you can either obviously sign up using just this email and password, or you can continue with Google. So I'm going to continue with Google, and I'll show you what it looks like from there. All right, so now I've continued with Google using my Gmail, and I'm in here. So you get a 7-day free trial. I actually did this free trial 6 days ago. So up here, it'll prompt you to subscribe, of course. And see it. I've done it. I did it 6 days ago, so it's 1 day left. So this is kind of the dashboard. So this is the part that I've worked pretty hard on, and obviously getting the Google Firebase set up, which is like how the sign in works and stuff. So I have all that on Google Firebase, all like the users' data and stuff. So it was locally hosted per like browser base, but now it's actually hosted on the Firebase, which is really good. So users can save their data and stats. So this is the dashboard of it. Like I said, it prompts you to subscribe because after a day and 1 hour, you'll be completely shut off from this. This is the accuracy. I've just gone through and clicked through questions. It shows the amount of questions answered, shows your study streak, and all these stats are saved to Firebase. So they're actually going to save when users create an account. I'll probably do it where, like, if your free trial runs out, then it'll reset your data to maybe further incentivize people to pay the subscription. Not sure yet about that. Let's see, here is what it looks like. So upgrade there, questions answered. So just so it shows some of your stats here. You can reset, but it gives you that, like confirmation, which is good. And same with sign out, which I like. So um, that's that. Here are the sections. So this is kind of really what I want to discuss with y'all, the viewers, and the users, obviously. Um, I'm actually going to change this. So right now it has all 6 sections, but what I've kind of been thinking about is people go one section at a time. People aren't going to study, you know, especially 6 sections, right? Because you choose the 3 base and then you choose the 1 optional, right, of the 3. Um, and so my thing here is that you're only going to go one section at a time. So there's really no point of you seeing all these at once. Like as a person studying for the CPA, it just doesn't really make any sense. So I think I'm going to change this user interface a bit. And like I said, let me know y'all's thoughts in the comments. But I'm going to change this to where, like, on the dashboard screen, before anything, you're gonna select what section of the exam you're actually taking, and then from there, this whole basically app will be catered towards the actual section. So if I clicked far on this dashboard page, like I said, this will be different. Then then everything on this app will be for far. It just feels more organized that way because right now it's all 6 sections. But like I said, it's kind of just information overload. Like if you're studying for far, you're obviously not going to click any of these. So let me know y'all's thoughts there. But anyway, still pretty good for a V1. I'm really happy with how this looks, and let me know any thoughts y'all have. I really want to cater this to the users. That's actually the point of me doing this. Is I want to give users a cheaper alternative to pass the CPA. And also, if y'all didn't know, I mean, I explained this, but I'm going to be using this, only this, no Ninja, no Becker, no UWorld, only this to pass the entire CPA so that I can prove that it does work when selling it to users, right? Um, and it will, the questions will be mostly AI generated. I might, tweak some here and there. But the point is I want to prove that this is a good enough study tool to actually pass the CPA so that people will actually, subscribe and use it. Because I just think there needs to be a cheaper alternative out there. So anyway, that's the dashboard. Practice. So this basically, you can choose your discipline. Once again, I'm going to change this. I want it to only be the section that you're doing. So like if we click FAR, then none of the bar, all reg would be there. It'd just be FAR. But you would have a choice between multiple choice or task-based simulations. So let's say I want to practice FAR and I want to do multiple choice, begin practice. So it walks through this. I also want to make this less wordy. I mean, this is so long. But I mean, I'm prompting AI to make it exactly like the questions on the CPA. So if that's what they are, then I'm going to keep them that way. But also, I'm going to make some a little less wordy, especially for the mobile version, so that people can actually study on the go. That's another one of my ideas. Like instead of making them like this, no one wants to study on mobile like with this amount of information. It's just overwhelming, and it just wouldn't be like this would be very hard to do on mobile on the go. So I'm gonna make like almost like a mobile centered version that you can check that's like more vocabulary and flashcards rather than this wordy information. But anyway, you can see here, this is how many are in the pool. Obviously, I'm going to make way more. I just started this with the Claude API, and then this shows the accuracy. So for practice, you see your answers one at a time, whereas I'll show you mock exams in a second. But let's just click one here, and then it shows you a nice explanation. I worked really hard on these explanations to make them like actually user friendly, like it's kind of organized and looks nice. So I'm pretty happy with how this turns out. I'm gonna make this expand over more so that I don't have to scroll every time. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this format. And like I said, it just gives you an explanation of why it's A and then not the other answers. And then it'll show your accuracy. Let's try to get one right. See, just explanate, answer, and then why it's B and not the other answers. Okay, so see, your accuracy goes up, 3 out of 57 answered. And once again, it still shows you the explanation even when you got it right. And I might do something like an Anki, where like you can be like, was it, did you like kind of know it? Did you really know it, or did you not know it at all? And then based off of that, it'll feed you more questions that you didn't know. But like I said, that'll come in a later version. Right now, I was just trying to get the kind of the front end user interface right, and I'm really happy with how this looks. So you kind of get the picture here. I don't know why they're all B. I need to make sure those are kind of switched up more. But anyway, see, that's kind of the vibes. Like I said, I want to try to not have a scroll bar here because that gets annoying. But anyway, that's for practice. You can exit out it whenever. And that'll should save your stats. So see, it shows more questions that are answered and all your stats, which is awesome. But yeah, and you do that for everything. Same with task-based simulations, which right now I actually don't have any inputted, just one. But obviously I'll make way more. And so you actually enter in your answers here. Um, and then it shows you the solution. Like I said, I'm gonna make the solutions better, um, you know, in future versions. And so it just shows one, but I'm gonna add more later. So for mock exams, it showed. I really like this because it's exact. It has the same time and same questions and same trial-based simulations as the actual exam. So this is literally like you're taking an exam. Yeah, it's basically like the test, pretty much. So you begin the exam. Here's the time. Here's the questions, and here is um, where you answer them. So for the mock exams, which is different than the practice, is that um, you answer without seeing the answer. And I actually want to add a version where you can also answer and see the right answer, even for mock exams. If you just want to like study, but you still want an exam setting. But right now, just for the mock exams, you can answer and obviously not see it. So we'll answer a few of these, and I really like this format. So it shows you that. Also, testlets, I think it's like 20, then like 20 again, and then some trial-based simulations. But once again, that's the exact format of what FAR would actually look like in a real setting. And so, yeah, now once you do all that, you can click review, or I think you can flag a question. So that's pretty awesome. So let's flag a few. All right. And now we click review. Awesome. So it shows the ones that are answered, shows the ones that are flagged, shows the ones that are unanswered. And then, once again, we don't have any for these, but we will. We can flag it next. Awesome. So that shows it was answered, but still flagged. And so, yeah. And then you can, once you've answered all these right here, let's do one where you do that and flag just to make sure. Beautiful. So then you submit, and it shows you what you got correct, what you answered, the time that it was used, and then that's it. And it should save your stats here. I'm not sure if that saves. Let us see. So it looks like only the stats are saved for the practice and not the mock exams, but obviously I can change that. And I want to make these stats better, by the way. Like right now, they're just a few simple stats, but I want it to where it'll show you what actual blueprint areas that you need to work on and which ones you have mastered, all that stuff. But like I said, the details can come later. I'm not worried about that. I was mainly just worried about, like I said, the front end UI, and I think it looks really good. Our last section here, and I'm going to add a few more. I'll talk about those later, but are the flashcards. So for here, once again, this is really not effective as a flashcard. It's just too wordy. But I will make these flashcards more definition based for, just for the actual flashcard ones. So once again, on the mobile version, then you can hit the ground running. And because like trying to answer this On mobile version would be atrocious. It would not work if you're like sitting in a car trying to answer this and you don't have paper. It would just be terrible. But once again, I'll mainly focus on the UI. So you click it, and then for this one, we'll just say got it, and so it moves on. But you click it again, say a manufacturing company, then we click review again, and it just goes to the same one. Or you can just flip it like that. And then once you've got the answer, then you click got it, and it moves to the next one. So um, I'll probably add something where you can flag, some flashcards, and obviously there will be way more than 57 once I add more. But I'm taking my time there because I want to make sure the questions match actual CPA exam formatting, because that's the whole point of me making this, is so that people can effectively study for the CPA in a cheap way. But anyway, you get the point. At first I had the answer choices, and then the right answer was shown, and I had the answer choices here. But then I was like, there's no point of that, because then the flashcards would be the same thing as the practice. So I think I'm going to make the practice like, more wordy like this, but I actually want to make the flashcards more definition based so that you can actually study on the go better. So like these, I will replace these with shorter, more definition based ones so that the flashcards can be, more effective. So yeah, that's about it. And like I said, I think since you're not really answering these, you're just saying got it. I don't think those will show up on the stats. Um, I don't know if I need to make sure that updates for the mock exams and the practice, but not for the flashcards. But that's about it. I want to add more sections here that I'll discuss a little bit later. Um, but yeah, I mean, that is pretty much it. I really, honestly, so kind of my belief here is the law of large numbers. So basically, you just do a bunch of practice questions with the appropriate blueprint areas, and that's basically it, right? So I want to, I will eventually include in some of these sections like a kind of a study guide and some notes, but I want to consolidate the notes. I want to avoid long, boring lectures and huge notes, because from my study experience using other tools in the past, like I tried this like a year ago, it was just not very effective. It took forever and it was just so boring. So I'm really trying to make this just like very efficient, very quick studying, and avoid all the long, boring lectures. Like I said, I'll do some study guides and notes here, but I want to make them pretty concise. So that's the V2 of my app. It's called CPAcioli, because Pacioli was actually the guy who kind of created accounting way back in the day. So I thought that was a cool play on words. And then that's my version right now. I'm super excited to show y'all what's in store, but please let me know any suggestions or concerns that you have in the comments. I really want to listen to user feedback here. That's the whole point of me creating this. I want users to actually use it and enjoy it. So I don't want to be obviously some big corporation that just is trying to like make a bag. I want to help users actually cheaply study for the CPA. That's my goal here. So please let me know if y'all have any questions or concerns in the comments, or anything that would be really cool to add. And maybe I'll do a poll for that, on my YouTube, just to see what users kind of want and all the popular things they want to add. And so, yeah, please follow along, like and subscribe. I really want this to be helpful, and so I really want y'all's feedback. Thank y'all.